They say true terror lies not in what you see, but in what your mind refuses to comprehend. Imagine an endless white wasteland, a place where no human should ever tread. And then imagine finding something there, something so ancient, so utterly alien, that it shatters your understanding of reality itself. This is the story of the Miskatonic University expedition, and the horrifying truth they unearthed beneath the unforgiving ice of Antarctica. Welcome back, truth seekers and lovers of the unknown, to the great LoveCraftian. Hey, I mean, Preditnedits. Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling, mind-bending tales of cosmic horror ever penned. H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. Grab a warm blanket, because the following account will take you to the coldest, most desolate place on Earth, and into the heart of a nightmare that transcends human imagination. Our story begins in the winter of 1930, with the ambitious Miskatonic University expedition to Antarctica. Led by the renowned geologist Professor Dyer, the team comprised a diverse group of scientists, graduate students, and experienced drill operators, all eager to unearth the geological and biological secrets hidden beneath the continent's colossal ice sheets. Their equipment was state-of-the-art. A massive drilling apparatus, powerful snow tractors, and even a newfangled airplane for aerial reconnaissance. The expedition established its primary camp near the Queen Maud Mountains. Initially, their discoveries were groundbreaking, if conventional. New rock formations, evidence of ancient life, and the sheer, awe-inspiring scale of the frozen wilderness. But then, a secondary exploration team, led by Professor Lake, ventured further, deep into an uncharted mountain range. Lake's team, equipped with their own drill, made a truly astonishing discovery. They found a series of 15 perfectly preserved Precambrian fossils. But these weren't just any fossils. They were immense barrel-shaped creatures, nearly 8 feet tall, with 5 bat-like wings, 5 tentacles for a head, and star-shaped feet. Professor Lake, in his excited dispatches back to Dyer's main camp, speculated that these were entirely unknown organisms, far more complex and ancient than anything ever recorded. But Lake's excitement soon turned to a chilling dread. His next message described not just the creatures, but also strange geometric patterns found etched into the rock near their discovery site. He hinted at an unidentifiable, oily substance surrounding the specimens, and a disturbing lack of any decay. The fossils were too perfect, too pristine. Then, silence. After several days of no communication, Professor Dyer, growing increasingly anxious, mounted a rescue mission in the airplane. What they found at Lake's camp was a scene of unspeakable horror. Tents were shredded, equipment was scattered, and most of Lake's team, along with their sled dogs, were found brutally dismembered and meticulously arranged in grotesque patterns. But 2 men, and one of the elder thing specimens, were missing. What truly shattered Dyer's composure, however, was the sight of the remaining elder thing specimens. Some had been mutilated in a way that defied explanation, as if something with surgical precision had dissected them, leaving behind clues of an intelligence far beyond human. And amongst the carnage, they found the diary of one of Lake's assistants, detailing a chilling, impossible truth. The creatures weren't fossils. They were merely hibernating. And something had reanimated them. Driven by a scientific imperative, mixed with an overwhelming sense of dread, Dyer and his sole surviving companion, a student named Danforth, decided to press on. The missing elder thing and 2 of Lake's men couldn't have simply vanished. They flew their plane deeper into the unexplored mountain range, a range of peaks so impossibly tall and jagged, they defied geological explanation. These were the Mountains of Madness. As they soared over the desolate landscape, they discovered something truly impossible. A colossal, cyclopean city carved from the black rock itself. Its architecture was unlike anything on Earth. Vast, geometrically complex structures, impossible angles, and murals that covered entire facades. This was not a natural formation. This was the work of an ancient, alien civilization. Landing the plane on a high plateau, Dyer and Danforth ventured into the silent, abandoned city. The air was thin, the silence absolute, broken only by the crunch of their boots on the ancient stone. The murals, preserved by the eternal ice, told a terrifying story. The murals depicted the history of the Elder Things. They were not merely creatures. They were the first intelligent life forms on Earth, arriving from distant stars billions of years ago. They had built this magnificent city, cultivated life on the nascent planet, and even created servant races, including the shapeless, protoplasmic horrors known as Shoggoths. But their history was also one of endless struggle. They battled the starspawn of Cthulhu, creatures that later inspired the Cthulhu mythos we know. They fought the Migo, fungi-like beings from distant Yuggoth, and most disturbingly, they fought against their own creations, the Shoggoths. The murals showed the Elder Things retreating from a dying sun, burrowing deeper into the earth, adapting to new forms of existence. Their civilization endured for eons, but eventually, the Shoggoths, once their slaves, rebelled. The murals became darker, more frantic, depicting the Elder Things fighting a losing battle against their own monstrous creations. The last murals showed scenes of abandonment, of retreat to the deepest, most inaccessible parts of the planet. Dyer and Danforth realized they weren't just exploring an ancient city. They were walking through the tomb of an entire civilization. A civilization that had been consumed by the very forces it had unleashed. The silence of the city felt less like peace and more like a held breath, a frozen scream. As they delved deeper into the city's labyrinthine passages, they stumbled upon recent tracks in the ancient snow, tracks that were distinctly non-human. These weren't Elder Thing tracks. They were something else, something far more sinister, accompanied by the oily residue Lake had mentioned. They followed the tracks into a vast, dark cavern, where they made the most terrifying discovery of all. The two missing men from Lake's team were there, their bodies mutilated in a horrific, deliberate fashion, similar to the other victims. And then they saw it. The missing Elder Thing specimen. It was also brutally dismembered. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the cavern, a sickening protoplasmic gurgle, followed by the terrifying chant, "Tekelili! Tekelili!" The source of the sound was not one of the Elder Things. It was a Shoggoth, vast and amorphous, its multitude of eyes gleaming in the dim light. It had been awakened, and it was mimicking the sounds of its ancient masters, a horrifying parody of their dying cries. Dyer and Danforth, their sanity hanging by a thread, realized the horrifying truth. The Shoggoths had not merely rebelled against the Elder Things, they had survived, they had adapted. And now they roamed these ancient cities, an ultimate horror unbound. The missing men from Lake's team had not been killed by the Elder Things. They had been killed by the Shoggoths, which had then meticulously rearranged the corpses to mock their ancient enemies. Fleeing in terror, their minds reeling from the sheer impossibility of what they had witnessed, Dyer and Danforth barely made it back to their plane. They escaped the mountains of madness, but the experience forever scarred them. They saw the true, uncaring scale of cosmic existence, and the insignificance of humanity in the face of ancient, alien horrors. Professor Dyer never revealed the full truth to the public, fearing the mass panic and societal collapse it would cause. But he published a veiled account, hoping to warn future expeditions away from the impossible mountains. The nightmare of Antarctica, of the Elder Things and their monstrous creations, remains a secret buried beneath the ice, waiting for the unwary to awaken it once more. And that, my friends, is the terrifying tale of At the Mountains of Madness. What are your thoughts on humanity's place in such a vast, indifferent cosmos? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more tales of cosmic horror, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the unknown. Until next time, stay vigilant, and try not to think too much about what might be lurking beneath the ice.